right now, however, before we end tonight's stream, I thought that maybe we could talk for a little bit. Maybe we could have some fun conversations. Maybe, sometimes we do have little question and answer sessions, so maybe we could do one of those tonight. Let's get a little music playing in the background while we do this. So, I get a number of questions, and I never really get around to answering them. I got a bunch of questions on the Tumblrs. People do send me questions on that. So I thought that maybe I could just spend some time on the stream with these questions. Silicon Mage asking me if I've ever played Zombies Ate My Neighbors. I actually never have. I've heard of the game, but I've never played it. One question that I've gotten on Tumblr. Oh, you're asking me what is my opinion on WWE Champion Roman Reigns? How happy am I that the big dog has become the guy? I can't say enough about Roman Reigns. He has overcome all the odds, and he has used his shotgun arm to murder Triple H. He's dead now, and Roman Reigns ate his corpse and ate the WWE title, and in doing so, he became God of WWE, is how that worked, I think. Unassuming is asking if I've seen plenty of superhero movies. I do like superhero movies, and I do watch them as I can. I did watch Batman v Superman, and that was a thing. That was certainly a thing. But like I was saying, I do get some questions on Tumblr, and thought I might spend some time on the stream to answer them here. So, for example, I got this one, someone saying, I hate this site 42, saying that the links to the supplemental videos with the movie reviews from the Deadly Premonition LP on YouTube are all dead now. It's true, I've known that for a while. I really should update the links on those, but if you go to archive.org, the Deadly Premonition LP had been put there at the time it was done. So, you can watch those videos that are not available on YouTube, the ones with the movie reviews. So if you're ever interested in watching that LP, you probably should go to archive.org to see the videos that were too hot for YouTube. Too intense. They're still available. It's just that Blip's gone, which is where I had put them, because YouTube would not allow them, because I got a copyright strike on my YouTube when I uploaded the one that had Xanadu in it, because, oh man, don't you dare use footage of Xanadu. Don't do that. That is a valuable property, I believe belonging to Universal Pictures. They will not have you using their IPs for your own purposes. They will not have you using the valuable IP that is Xanadu for your own YouTube video review. So, don't do it. So yeah, you can see all of the Deadly Premonition videos on archive.org if there are any that are not available on YouTube. And of course, Blip is gone, so those links don't work anymore. Another question. Spade Samael saying that Olivia Newton-John called me out for that in US Magazine. Yes, Olivia Newton-John, I'm sure, not appreciative of my unflattering review of Xanadu, but I'm sure most of the participants in that movie are probably quite used to that opinion. Let's go to the next question here, which is, what is the official timeline for the Frozen medical games? If I don't play Frozen Anna Give Birth a Baby before Elsa Frozen Brain Surgery, will I even be able to follow the plot? Well, I guess we do need to figure out a timeline for the Frozen games. As you know, we have regularly practiced medicine on the sisters from Frozen, Anna and Elsa. Elsa did need brain surgery, among many other things. Anna did need to, we needed to give birth, help her give birth to her child. These two sisters had many, many medical problems. And they came to us for our help for this. So I don't know if there's a strict timeline to it. If, say, for example, did Elsa get brain surgery before or after we fixed her teeth? Of course, you remember she came to us with extreme dental problems, and I'm not sure if that was before or after the brain surgery. Where does the Minion baby game fit in then, RiderNet? I mean, the Minion takes place in its own continuity, I think. I think Minion Give Birth a Baby really doesn't have a whole lot to do with the Frozen continuity. So that could have happened at any time. I mean, we didn't actually have a medical license to perform any of those procedures, so there was actually no point where that happened. Common misconception, frozen brain surgery is, but the other is in the Child Link timeline. Okay, yes, frozen brain surgery is in the timeline where Link fails in Ocarina of Time. So yes, that's where, so you have to go down that timeline to achieve frozen brain surgery. Elsa does not need brain surgery in any of the other timelines. And of course, we haven't gone back to the Frozen Flash games in quite some time. I don't know, maybe we might at some point. I was taking a look at some of them, and I found a completely different Elsa brain surgery game. It looks completely different, I guess made by someone else, but it is still a game where you perform brain surgery on Elsa. Someone made that independently of the first brain surgery game. I don't know. People like performing medical procedures to the sisters from Frozen. It seems to be a popular thing. Someone suggested that maybe I should take a look at Zootopia Flash games and see what's out there. Because it's a new popular film with characters that children love. And it's strange. I didn't find too much in the way of strange stuff for Zootopia Flash games. I did find one where you have to make the main characters kiss, and you have to make sure that no one's looking when you're doing that. But aside from that, I really didn't find a whole lot in the way of Zootopia Flash games. There's a whole lot more Frozen games. People do love performing medical procedures on the sisters from Frozen. Another question. Are the early XBlick videos the Hollywood Hulk Hogan era of my LP career? Well, I think that being asked this question just shows the failure of the public school system in not teaching our kids about the progression of Hulk Hogan's career. If someone would think this. Let's be clear. The turn of Hulk Hogan to Hollywood Hulk Hogan came about when Hulk Hogan, he had been on top of the wrestling business for many years as a face, as a hero, a good guy, and he was starting to be booed by the fans. So Hulk Hogan, he turned against the fans in WCW and joined up with Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, who were the outsiders who invaded WCW from the WWF, and Hulk Hogan joined up with them to be the third man to form the NWO. And he turned his back on the fans because he didn't need them anymore. So if you wanted to imagine what would be the LP equivalent of such a thing, you would have to imagine someone who is on top of the LP industry, like your PewDiePie or your Markiplier, someone who is, making a lot of money from LP, and then someday just decides to turn their back on the LP community and join up with a company that really does not like people LPing their games, like Konami or something like that, and just join up with them while telling the fans that they don't need them anymore because they have found success on their own. That would sort of be what the Hollywood Hulk Hogan equivalent would be. You have to first gain success. You have to first gain a huge fan base of people who love you, and then turn on all of them because you don't need them anymore, and you reveal your true self, your true personality, and reveal that you were just using the fans the whole time. That's what the Hollywood Hulk Hogan turn is. Silicon Mage saying, so Fine Brothers then? I mean, maybe. They never really came out and made they seem unaware of why people didn't like while they were doing what they were doing, right? They didn't seem to really understand what it was that people had a problem with. They just stopped because they were losing subscribers and such, and people were mad. I don't know if they ever really understood why people were mad. It wasn't like they just turned on everyone and said, screw all of you, we are making money, and we don't need you anymore. Because obviously they do need people. They do need their viewers. So I don't know if the Fine Brothers thing really is the equivalent of the Hulk Hogan thing. And then, of course, to continue the Hulk Hogan metaphor, eventually that means that that PewDiePie would eventually have to have a sex tape come out one day in which he reveals his opinions of people of other races, and then sues a major online tabloid outlet over the whole thing, and gets awarded millions of dollars because of it. That's how that story ends. But I don't really think that my LP career has much to do with the Hollywood Hulk Hogan story, so I can't say I'm really in any part of that progression. Phantom Ninja, is this an intermission? No, this is going to be the end of the stream. We're done with the games for tonight. I'm just having a chat with you, just having a conversation, just answering a few questions that I never really get around to answering on Tumblr. Anonymous asks, well, it's not really a question, but Anonymous says that they might be too relaxed. The tingles have been going on for hours now. Please send help. ASMR is intense. You have to be able to handle it. You have to be able to handle the tingles. You don't, get a medical professional's opinion before you engage in ASMR. Understand if you can handle the tingles. Because they might be too much for you. The tingles might be too much. Limo is asking me if I've played Hyper Light Drifter. I've played a little bit of it, and I do think that you can expect a demo video of that coming round at some point, because I really do like that game so far. And apparently, according to JJK Joker, Tony Tobuscus has a thing for porn stars. I don't know. I wasn't actually watching the chat for a second, so I don't know how this conversation led to that. I don't know if Toby Tobuscus also has a thing for ASMR. Maybe he does. Other LPers are coming out of the woodwork, commenting about how they aren't surprised about Tobuscus. The only actual exposure I had to Tobuscus was when he was on Ubisoft's conference, E3 conference a while back, and no one liked him. It was kind of bad, and that was the only time I've ever actually seen him, so it wasn't a good first impression. I'm sure his actual videos are a lot better than that. I'm sure they're a lot better. Evil Wall asking me if I'm looking forward to the third and final Zero Escape game. Well, like I've mentioned on Tumblr, whether or not I'm looking forward to it is you don't know it because you can't observe it yet. It's in a box, and the box is closed. In that box is both my emotional states of looking forward and not looking forward to Zero Escape 3. And it's both things at the same time until you open the box and you can observe it for yourself. So who knows if I'm looking forward to the game, because we can't open the box yet. There's also a stuffed lion in there. Hopefully it's alive. Anonymous asks, I know you aren't such a big fan of visual novels, so I'm curious. After playing several over the last few years, do you like the VN format more now? Or is it that there are a few well-made exceptions? Honestly, I don't think I would say that I like the VN format any more than I used to. It's not something that I frequently play. It's just that I played 999, I enjoyed it, so of course I wanted to go on to VLR. And then VLR, overall I enjoyed it. It did have its problems, but I thought it was good. And so now we're going to be going on, of course, to Zero Escape 3. So I am interested in that series, but it doesn't really mean that I'm interested in visual novels in general. Just that this particular series I am liking. It's not really something that I go out to look for, though, for the most part. Wicked Virgin saying that the Zero Escape games are not typical VNs. Yeah, that seems to be the case. The Zero Escape games also incorporate a lot more in the way of puzzles and that kind of gameplay. And a lot of visual novels don't seem to really have much gameplay at all, if any. And that's not really that appealing to me. Zelmer is asking me if I enjoyed Hoku-chan's adventures. Well, of course, I enjoyed Hoku-chan's adventures with Bully Demise. I don't tend to play visual novels in general, but that was a good one. That was well made. Someone is asking if I was a wrestler, what would my gimmick be? They're assuming I'm not 8 feet tall, so I can't be Bully Demise. If I was a wrestler, one thing that I tend to think about is back in the early 90s, there was a wrestler named Terrence Taylor. Terry Taylor had wrestled for a while in a number of promotions under a number of gimmicks, but in early 90s WCW, Terrence Taylor had a gimmick where he had his manager. His manager had like a laptop, and like the idea was that the manager had a program on the laptop that would analyze the opponent and then pump out an invincible, unbeatable strategy for Terrence Taylor to defeat the opponent. And then like they would actually have the match, and then Taylor would win, and then they would be all... See, the computer predicted it. The computer predicted the perfect game plan. And because he had this computer, he was just, they couldn't beat him. So I kind of think that I would want to have a gimmick like that, where I would have some kind of mysterious program on my laptop or my tablet, and it would tell me exactly how I could defeat the opponent. Like I would be going up against John Cena, or like, say, an example of this, I could go up against John Cena, that I could run him through my program, and then the tablet would start smoking, and it would catch on fire, and I would be like, oh no, the computer, it cannot figure out how to defeat John Cena. And, not even that would allow me to beat John Cena. Aretsis is asking, how am I enjoying The Witness? I am enjoying The Witness. Some of the puzzles have been frustrating, but I have been liking playing that game. But I guess that's pretty much how that computer gimmick would have to end. Like, the person would have to be undefeated for a while until they go up against John Cena, and then the computer explodes because it cannot comprehend how to defeat John Cena. It just can't be done. Friend of Yinkin is asking, am I enjoying even the sun puzzles? Nah, I didn't really enjoy the sun puzzles. Those I could have done without. But I mean, later on, we're going to head back to that Sun Temple eventually to solve the rest of those. And since now that I have an idea on what it is we need to do, I'm sure that it'll be a lot more tolerable once we get there. Schools U- is asking me if I've played Antichamber. I played some of it, and actually I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I might. That seemed like something that would be right up my alley, but for some reason, I ended up not really liking it all that much. It was weird. Because I thought I would like it. I don't really know why I didn't. But, yeah, I did play a bit of Antichamber. Anonymous asks, why do I keep getting randomly banned on your chat? I don't do anything to get flagged for an entire stream and then can't join the chat for almost a month after that. Help. Well, it's kind of hard to figure out what is the problem just from this information, as I don't know who this is, and I don't know what the issue is that they're having with actually getting into the chat. So, I'm sorry, Anonymous, but I don't really know what to say. I think you're going to have to give me more information to figure out how it is that you can't get into the chat. Someone asking, people get banned here? It doesn't really happen. That's the thing I'm wondering about. I can't think of any real bans aside from like IRC trolls, like actual real people who come here to talk. I can't think of any real bans happening here. Some people suggesting maybe they just don't know there's a password. I mean, that could be. If you're on the stream page, it does say the password on it, but maybe they're just not looking at it. So, I don't know, that could be the case. Catman is asking if we have played through the 11th hour. We have not done that, but, that is a DOS game. So maybe we'll take a look at that at some point. But yeah, if you're trying to get onto the chat, I mean, you have to look at the bottom of the page where it says that there is a password, and then you can use the password. Anonymous is asking, do I like to read? If yes, any good books that I can recommend? Well, let me tell you the good news about a little book called Ready Player One. No, actually, Ready Player One was kind of a fun read, but I wouldn't call it good. You kind of have to know what you're getting into. Something I have been reading lately, when I was a young teen, I read a series of fantasy books called The Chronicles of Thomas Covenant, and then there were 6 of those, written in the late 70s and the early 80s. And then I found out much, much later that the author was writing a final quadrology. He wrote the last book in 2013. So that's what I've been reading recently. I'm actually now on the last book, the 10th book. It's heading towards the raging climax. So that's what I've been reading recently. I don't know, it's something that's kind of difficult to recommend to people, because you might describe it as being like a fantasy adventure, and people like those. But the thing... I love this track. So, like I said, it's kind of hard to suggest because people will not really be expecting what that series is really about. It's really about self-hatred and despair, and that's all about what you're getting from the perspectives of the main characters. And it's something that I could relate to a whole lot when I was a teen. The main character is a character who is defined by his self-hatred, and that was something that had appealed to me. And a lot of people who read those books are really put off by it. But it's something that I got into and read all 6 books. And now, like I said, now I'm reading the final 4 books. What is this song, Chips? This is... Let's see, it's from the YouTube audio library. It's called Party House. Glub Glub Water Dance. Dire Sloth is asking, what was the name of that series again? The name of the series is called The Chronicles of Thomas Covenant. There's 10 books in the series. The first 3 is a trilogy, and then the second 3 is a second trilogy, and then the final 4 of those books are a quadrology. It's basically about a broken man who has lost everything in his life, and he finds himself in a fantasy world where he is supposed to be the legendary hero, and he thinks probably he's dying, and is just all of delusion because what is going on, and he doesn't really believe anything that's actually happening, which is why he's referred to as the unbeliever. And I think this is how I would describe it. I think a lot of people have seen Evangelion. You're familiar with it. When you watched Evangelion, was the reaction that you had to that when you watched Shinji full of despair and full of just being upset? Was your reaction to him just to say, "Damn it, Shinji, stop crying and just get in the robot"? Because a lot of people have that reaction to Shinji. If that's your reaction to him, then you might have trouble with reading Thomas Covenant. Because Thomas Covenant is a story about a man who literally has the ultimate weapon for the entire story. The ultimate weapon is the ring that he wears on his hand, and it's said from the beginning that this is the ultimate weapon. He has ultimate power, and he doesn't use it for various reasons, and people tend to get frustrated reading a story with a hero like that. But it was a story that I really liked. Stop crying and get in the robot is something you say every day, Lewis. Yeah, you kind of you have to just motivate yourself. You have to get out of bed. You have to get ready. You have to get out into the world. You have to just tell yourself, stop crying and get in the robot. Spade Samael, the people in the books get frustrated with Covenant too. Yeah, that's kind of the thing about that series, is that Covenant is just like I said, he's completely broken. He is a huge asshole. And everyone else in the books are like such good people, and he is supposed to be their hero. Goodnight, maybe don't make flesh bots powered by teenagers is the thing to get out of Eva. You know, there are a lot of mistakes made in Eva. You know, there are a lot of things that people should have done differently in that series. Spade Samael, he'll either save or damn the land. Yeah, that's kind of the whole thing, that the prophecy says that maybe he won't be the hero, he'll either save it or damn it, so he could do either one. Could go either way on that. He's not sure which one he's going to be doing. Though he doesn't actually want the responsibility to do either. He'd rather just not do either. Pillows, so he's Anakin? No, because Anakin wanted power. Anakin wanted to be the hero. Covenant is actually the opposite of it, is that he does not want any of that power. He actually frequently tries to give it away. He has his ultimate power ring, and he tries to give it to people to take the responsibility away from him. And, there are issues with doing that. It's kind of hard to figure out where to start talking about that series. I thought it was interesting. Pillows, Anakin was meant to bring a balance. It's true, but Covenant is not really meant to bring a balance himself, as the forces in Thomas Covenant are all about good and evil. There's no real balance there, you just need to get rid of evil. Catman, if they released a Shadow Man 3, would I play it? I would be very interested in a new Shadow Man, but I don't know. They did release a Shadow Man 2, but I never got around to playing that because it just didn't look good. It just didn't look good. Anyway, since I'm almost near the end of Thomas Covenant, I am going to need a new story, a new series to read. I'm not really sure what I'll be reading next, but I've gone through this series pretty fast. I mean, they are pretty large books, but they go by pretty quickly. Bear Jazz, Shin Megami Tensei, or Persona. Actually, I've not played either of those. I watched all of Persona 4 through Giant Bomb's Endurance Run, and I enjoyed watching that. But I haven't played any of the Shin Megami Tensei games. Silicon Mage suggesting to read John Dies at the End. Okay, I will take your suggestion, Silicon Mage. I will read it, and we'll see how it goes. Spades, you want to see what I thought of the end of the series since you couldn't make it past Last Chronicles Book 2. Was it just a slog to read through, or was it just did it have to do with any of the plot developments? Or was it just hard to read? All of the above. Read Nation by Pratchett, and you'll see what a good, nice, funny writer he is. RCW, is The Witness the only game I play for enjoyment in my own time? I haven't really been playing through anything else as of late, aside from what you've seen in videos and streams. Haven't really done anything else. So pretty much all my video game time right now is done through videos and streams, I guess. Well, I think that we have time for one more question here. And that is, oh super great friend, would you consider playing the Stella Glow demo on the 3DS? Trust me, its conception too-tastic. While I have played through the demo, and because of Anonymous's suggestion, you'll get to see it next week on the stream. We're going to be playing through the Stella Glut demo. It's not great, but you're going to see it. You'll see all of it. So you can look forward to that next week. And with that, I think it's about time to end the stream. I hope everyone had a good time tonight. Of course, we've been playing some new things tonight. We were playing a number of DOS games. We got through a bunch of them. And now we started Escape from Bug Island. I hope everyone had a good time. I hope everyone had a lot of fun. Maybe more fun with tonight's stream than maybe they've had with previous streams as we were playing Zelda 2 Sin and Punishment Willy Beamish. I hope that people were enjoying the new games on the stream. Coming up this week, of course, there is going to be more Witness. I do want to get up a demo friend of Hyper Light Drifter, and because of some popular demand, we might be having some more fun with Nightcry. So we'll see about that in the coming week. I hope everyone's had a good time. I hope everyone has a good week. And I'll see you next time for more video games. Have a good video game-filled evening.